So I started in 71. Caulfield, I'm pretty sure, won it in 70. John would have joined what was already a very good team in 72. And John just stood out straight away. Like, he was a big, strong ruckman, and he would push back across the half-back line, and he was almost impassable.
He was a ruckman in his day at Caulfield. By today's standards, he would be very short. But he had two big advantages. He had huge hands, and he had a great jump. And he was one of the best marks that I've seen.
He was a big, strong guy. He's only 19, I think, and got in the state side. And for him to be in it for those 5 years demonstrates, how much ability he had and how he was regarded, I think, by the amateurs in general.
He was very difficult to get it past him. He'd be strong in the ruck, and then he'd be dropped back, and he was magnificent overhead, and probably a man ahead of his time.
I think Caulfield held him in very high regard. If you go through the records, he's nearly always in the best players every week. And if he got the ball, he knew what to do with it. And as I said, it was just a beautiful mark, a beautiful kick of the ball.
It was a magnificent story about playing. They were playing collegians one day, and the collegian coach was well known. Fergie was screaming out at his team, "Stop kicking it to John Griffiths." From my experience, he was one of the very good amateur players that could actually have a big impact on a game.
Because he'd done his degree at Monash, he thought, I'll go back and I'll have a year at Monash, which he did in B grade. Was again in the state side that year.
I know he played in the Carnival in South Australia, and I think he got a best on ground on one of those appearances.
And then he thought, I've got to go back to Caulfield. And then he made the All-Australian seed, which adds to his resume.
John Griffiths hasn't changed at all. As I said, he was a thorough gentleman then, right throughout his career.
I'd almost call him a gentle giant in that sense. Off the ground gentle, on the ground a giant.
John Griffiths was such a nice fellow. Even on the field, I can never remember him doing anything that even resembled dirty play.
He was widely regarded as a very, very good surgeon.
He actually, later in life, operated on a few of the De La Salle boys. One in particular, Barry Lyons, I think. When John had him on the table under anaesthetic, that he might have been able to have his time back and comeuppance for that 75 prelim fine.
He's a thoroughly good man, and his induction into the VAFA is thoroughly deserved.
I think it's a well-deserved introduction into the Big Fee thing, so I'm really happy for it.
He's a lovely man, John, and very deserving of the honour.
He's a very proud man, and I'm sure today would be one of these, certainly one of his proudest memories in his football life anyway.